Chapter 1. My Early Days. I was born on a warm summer day in a small, quiet town. My parents, John and Mary, were hardworking people. My father worked as a carpenter, building houses and fixing things. My mother stayed at home, taking care of my two younger sisters and me. We didn't have much money, but our home was always full of love and laughter. As a child, I was curious about everything. I loved to explore the woods behind our house, collecting rocks and leaves. My father often took me along to his work sites, where I would watch him carefully measure and cut wood. He taught me the importance of doing things right the first time and always taking pride in my work. School was a big part of my early life. I remember my first day at the local school. The building was old and smelled of chalk, but I was excited. My teacher, Mrs. Brown, was kind and patient. She encouraged my love for reading, and I spent many afternoons in the school library, lost in stories of adventure and faraway places. At home, my mother taught me how to cook simple meals and sew small things. She always said that these were important skills to have, and she was right. I still remember the first cake I baked with her. It was a bit crooked, but it tasted delicious, and we were all so proud. Life in our town was simple but fulfilling. We didn't have fancy toys or go on vacations, but we had each other. Every evening, my family would gather around the dinner table, sharing stories from our day. Those moments taught me the value of family and the importance of being there for one another. As I grew older, my responsibilities at home increased. I helped my father with his work and took care of my sisters. These experiences shaped me into a responsible and caring person, always ready to lend a hand. In the next chapter, I'll talk about my school years, the friends I made, and the lessons I learned along the way. Chapter 2: School Days and Friendships. My school years were a time of learning, both in and out of the classroom. I was always eager to go to school, not just to learn new things, but also to spend time with my friends. Our school was small, with only a handful of students in each grade, which made us all feel like one big family. In those early years, I made two close friends, Tom and Sarah. Tom was the class clown, always making everyone laugh with his silly jokes. Sarah was the opposite, quiet and thoughtful, but always ready to help someone in need. The three of us were inseparable. We spent our recesses playing tag, building forts, and sharing secrets. Academically, I enjoyed most subjects, but reading and writing were my favorites. I loved getting lost in books, imagining myself in the stories, and writing my own little tales. Mrs. Brown, my teacher, noticed my interest and encouraged me to keep writing. She often praised my work in front of the class, which made me feel proud and motivated me to do even better. Math, however, was a different story. I struggled with numbers and often felt frustrated when I couldn't understand a problem. But Mrs. Brown was patient. She would sit with me after class, explaining things in a way that finally made sense. Her kindness and dedication taught me that it's okay to ask for help and that with hard work, anything is possible. One of the most memorable events during my school years was the annual science fair. Tom, Sarah, and I decided to work together on a project. After much brainstorming, we chose to build a model volcano. We spent weeks gathering materials, researching how volcanoes work, and putting everything together. On the day of the fair, our volcano erupted perfectly, sending a small, bubbly stream of lava down its sides. We won first place, and the three of us were over the moon with excitement. Outside of school, my friends and I would often explore the town. We'd ride our bikes to the local park, have picnics by the river, or simply hang out in each other's backyards. Those carefree days of laughter and adventure are some of my fondest memories. We learned the value of friendship, trust, and teamwork. lessons that would stay with us throughout our lives. As we moved into the higher grades, our interests began to change. Tom became more interested in sports, joining the school's soccer team. Sarah found her passion in art, spending hours drawing and painting. I continued to focus on reading and writing, often dreaming about becoming an author one day. Despite our different paths, our friendship remained strong. We supported each other in our pursuits, always cheering each other on. In the next chapter, I'll talk about the challenges and changes that came with growing older and how those experiences helped shape who I am today. Chapter 3: Growing Pains and New Challenges. As I entered my teenage years, life began to change in ways I hadn't expected. The carefree days of childhood were slowly giving way to new responsibilities, challenges, and the complexities of growing up. It was a time of discovery, but also of confusion and uncertainty. At school, the subjects became more challenging. Math, which had always been difficult for me, now seemed even more overwhelming. I often found myself staying up late, struggling to complete my homework. But I refused to give up. I knew that if I worked hard and stayed focused, I could overcome any obstacle. Mrs. Brown, who is now my mentor, continued to support me, reminding me that perseverance was the key to success. During these years, my relationships with my friends also began to change. Tom, who had always been the joker of the group, became more serious about soccer. He spent most of his time practicing, and although we still hung out, our interests started to diverge. Sarah, on the other hand, became deeply involved in art. She was incredibly talented, and her paintings were often displayed in school exhibitions. I was proud of her, but I also felt a bit left out as our conversations shifted more towards her art and Tom's sports. I found solace in my writing. It became my way of expressing the emotions I couldn't always articulate in conversation. I started keeping a journal, writing down my thoughts, fears, and dreams. It was during this time that I began to realize that writing wasn't just a hobby for me, it was a passion. I wanted to create stories that would inspire others, just like the books I had read as a child had inspired me. But growing up wasn't just about school and friendships. It was also a time when I began to understand more about the world around me. My family, who had always seemed invincible, faced their own challenges. My father injured his back at work, which meant he couldn't continue with his carpentry. This was a difficult time for us. My mother took on extra work to support the family, and I started helping out more around the house. It was hard to see my parents struggle, but it also brought us closer together. We leaned on each other, finding strength in our bond. As I navigated these changes, I also began to think more about my future. What did I want to do with my life? Where did I see myself in 10 years? These were big questions for a teenager, and I didn't have all the answers. But I knew one thing for sure: I wanted to continue writing. The idea of becoming an author started to take root in my mind, and I began to research what it would take to make that dream a reality. There were times when I felt overwhelmed by the pressures of school, family, and planning for the future. But I learned that it was okay to feel unsure sometimes. Life wasn't always going to be easy, but I knew that with determination and the support of my loved ones, I could face any challenge. In the next chapter, I'll share how I began to take steps toward my dream of becoming an author and the experiences that shaped my journey into adulthood. Chapter 4: Pursuing Dreams and Finding My Path. As I moved into my late teens, I became more determined to pursue my dream of becoming an author. High school was coming to an end, and I knew that the decisions I made now would shape my future. I started looking into colleges and universities with strong writing programs, and I worked hard to prepare for the entrance exams. Balancing my schoolwork with the application process was challenging, but I was motivated. I spent hours crafting personal statements, gathering recommendation letters, and perfecting my writing samples. The process was stressful, but it was also exciting. I felt a sense of purpose, knowing that I was taking concrete steps toward my goal. During this time, I continued to write in my journal and worked on a novel I had started. It was a story about a young adventurer exploring unknown lands, inspired by the books I had loved as a child. Writing this novel was both a creative outlet and a way to stay connected to my dream. I shared some of my work with my friends and family, who were supportive and encouraging. Their feedback helped me refine my writing and gave me the confidence to keep going. The summer before college was a time of transition. I worked part-time at a local bookstore, which allowed me to immerse myself in literature and learn about the publishing industry. I met many authors and aspiring writers during my time at the bookstore, and their stories inspired me even more. It was also a time for me to spend with my family and friends before heading off to college. We made the most of the summer, going on day trips, having barbecues, and enjoying each other's company. When I finally started college, it was a thrilling and overwhelming experience. The campus was large, and the classes were more challenging than I had anticipated. I was surrounded by talented and ambitious students, which was both inspiring and intimidating. I joined the campus writing club and attended workshops and seminars to improve my skills. I found myself constantly writing, revising, and seeking feedback. The environment was stimulating, and I felt like I was finally in the right place. Balancing academics with social life was a new challenge. I had to learn time management and prioritize my responsibilities. Despite the busy schedule, I made sure to stay connected with my family and friends, sharing my experiences and seeking their advice when needed. During my second year of college, I had the opportunity to intern at a literary magazine. This experience was invaluable. I learned about the editorial process, networked with professionals in the industry, and gained insights into what it takes to get published. I also started working on short stories and submitting them to various magazines and contests. Although I faced many rejections, each one taught me something new and made me more determined to succeed. The journey to becoming an author was far from easy, but it was incredibly rewarding. I learned to embrace the ups and downs, finding joy in the process of creation and growth. My dream of writing was no longer just a distant hope. It was becoming a reality. In the next chapter, I'll talk about the challenges I faced after graduation and how I continued to pursue my passion for writing while navigating the complexities of adulthood. Chapter 5: The Transition to Adulthood. Graduation from college marked the beginning of a new chapter in my life. With a degree in creative writing and a head full of dreams, I was eager to step into the world of professional writing. However, the transition from student to adult was filled with its own set of challenges and realities. After graduation, I moved to a bustling city to pursue career opportunities. The city was vibrant and full of life, but it was also overwhelming. Finding a job in the competitive field of writing was tough. I applied for numerous positions, from editorial assistants to freelance writing gigs, and faced many rejections along the way. Each rejection was a blow to my confidence, but I reminded myself that persistence was key. To make ends meet, I took on various part-time jobs. I worked as a barista in a coffee shop, which allowed me to meet people from all walks of life and gave me ample time to write during quiet shifts. I also took up tutoring English to high school students, which not only provided extra income but also kept me connected to the world of learning and literature. Despite the financial strain and uncertainty, I remained focused on my writing. I continued working on my novel and submitted short stories to literary magazines. I attended writing workshops and book readings, hoping to connect with other writers and industry professionals. Building a network in the literary world was crucial, and I made an effort to attend every event I could. One of the most important lessons I learned during this time was the value of resilience. The road to becoming a published author was long and fraught with setbacks. There were moments when I questioned whether I was on the right path. But I kept reminding myself of why I started writing in the first place: a love for storytelling and a desire to share my imagination with others. My hard work began to pay off when one of my short stories was accepted for publication in a well-known literary magazine. The acceptance was a significant milestone, and it boosted my confidence and morale. It was a small but important validation that my efforts were not in vain. In addition to writing, I also began to explore other creative outlets. I started a blog where I shared my thoughts on books, writing tips, and personal experiences. The blog gained a modest following, and it became another way to connect with readers and fellow writers. It was rewarding to receive feedback and engage with an audience who shared my passion for literature. As I navigated the challenges of adulthood, I also had to balance my personal life. I developed close friendships with fellow writers and creative individuals, and these relationships provided support and camaraderie. I made time for hobbies and activities that brought me joy, such as hiking and visiting art galleries. Maintaining a well-rounded life helped me stay motivated and inspired. Looking back, the transition to adulthood was a period of growth and self-discovery. It was a time of learning to balance dreams with reality and to navigate the ups and downs of pursuing a creative career. The journey was far from straightforward, but each experience taught me valuable lessons and brought me closer to realizing my dreams. In the next chapter, I'll share the milestones and achievements that marked my journey as a professional writer, as well as the ongoing challenges and triumphs that shaped my career. Chapter 6: Milestones and Triumphs. As I settled into my life as a professional writer, I began to experience the milestones and achievements that made the journey worthwhile. The road was still filled with challenges, but the successes along the way made all the hard work and perseverance feel like it was paying off. One of the most exciting milestones came when I finally completed my novel. It was a story I had been working on for years, and finishing it was both a relief and a source of immense pride. I spent countless hours revising and editing, making sure every word was perfect. When I felt it was ready, I began the process of finding a literary agent and publisher. The journey to getting my novel published was long and arduous, filled with numerous submissions and rejections. But eventually, I found an agent who believed in my work and helped me secure a publishing deal. The day I received the news that my novel was going to be published was one of the happiest moments of my life. I felt a sense of accomplishment that was hard to put into words. Seeing my name on the cover of a book was a dream come true. The launch of the novel was a busy time, filled with book signings, interviews, and promotional events. It was exhilarating to meet readers and hear their reactions to my work. It was also a reminder of why I had chosen this path in the first place, to connect with others through storytelling. Alongside my novel, my blog continued to grow in popularity. I used it as a platform to share insights into the writing process, provide book recommendations, and connect with my audience. The feedback I received from readers was incredibly encouraging and helped me refine my craft. I also started giving talks and workshops on writing, which allowed me to share my experiences and help aspiring writers develop their skills. Despite the successes, there were still challenges to face. The pressure to maintain productivity and creativity was a constant companion. There were times when I faced writer's block or struggled with self-doubt. However, I learned to embrace these challenges as part of the creative process. I found that taking breaks, exploring new experiences, and seeking inspiration from different sources helped me overcome these obstacles. In addition to writing, I began to explore other creative projects. I collaborated with other authors on anthologies, wrote articles for literary magazines, and even dabbled in screenwriting. Each new project was an opportunity to stretch my creative muscles and explore different forms of storytelling. It was exciting to see my work reach new audiences and to experiment with different genres and styles. One of the most rewarding aspects of my career was the opportunity to mentor young writers. I started a writing group for aspiring authors, where we met regularly to critique each other's work and offer support. It was fulfilling to see the growth and progress of the members of the group, and it reminded me of the importance of community and collaboration in the writing world. As my career continued to evolve, I remained focused on my passion for storytelling. Each achievement, big or small, was a step forward in my journey. I learned to celebrate the successes and embrace the challenges, knowing that they were all part of the path to becoming a successful writer. In the next chapter, I'll reflect on the impact of my work and the lessons I've learned along the way. I'll also share my thoughts on the future and the goals I continue to strive for in my writing career. Chapter 7: Reflections and Future Aspirations. As I look back on my journey as a writer, I am filled with a sense of gratitude and accomplishment. The path I have traveled has been marked by both triumphs and trials, each contributing to my growth as an individual and as a professional. One of the most meaningful aspects of my career has been the impact of my work on others. Hearing from readers who have been touched by my stories or who have found inspiration in my writing is incredibly rewarding. It reinforces the reason I started writing in the first place, to connect with people and make a difference through storytelling. Knowing that my work has resonated with others motivates me to continue creating and exploring new ideas. Reflecting on my experiences, I realize that the journey has taught me valuable lessons about perseverance, resilience, and self-belief. There were times when the path seemed uncertain and doubts crept in, but I learned to trust in my abilities and keep moving forward. The support and encouragement from family, friends, and fellow writers played a crucial role in helping me navigate these challenges. I've learned that success is not just about achieving goals, but also about embracing the journey and growing through the experiences along the way. Looking to the future, I have several aspirations and goals that I hope to achieve. One of my primary goals is to continue developing my writing skills and exploring new genres. I'm excited about the possibility of writing for different mediums, such as screenplays or interactive storytelling. I also hope to delve into more diverse and complex themes in my work, pushing the boundaries of my creativity and expanding my horizons. Another aspiration is to further my involvement in the literary community. I want to continue mentoring young writers and contributing to writing groups and workshops. Sharing my experiences and helping others find their voice is something I am passionate about. I believe that fostering a supportive and collaborative environment is essential for the growth of aspiring writers and for the enrichment of the literary world. In addition to my professional goals, I also hope to achieve a better balance between my personal and creative life. I want to continue exploring hobbies and interests outside of writing, such as traveling and learning new skills. Maintaining a well-rounded life helps me stay inspired and refreshed, which in turn benefits my writing. As I continue to evolve as a writer, I am excited about the possibilities that lie ahead. The journey so far has been an incredible adventure, and I am eager to see where it will lead next. I am committed to pursuing my passion with dedication and enthusiasm, and I am open to the opportunities and challenges that the future may bring. In conclusion, the path I have traveled has been filled with invaluable experiences and lessons. I am grateful for the support and encouragement I have received along the way, and for the opportunities that have allowed me to grow as a writer. As I look forward to the future, I remain focused on my goals and committed to making a positive impact through my work. The journey continues, and I am excited to embrace whatever comes next. Chapter 8: Embracing Change and Continuing the Journey. As I entered the next phase of my life, I realized that change is an inevitable and important part of any journey. Embracing change has become a crucial aspect of my growth as a writer and as a person. The ability to adapt and evolve is essential, both in the creative world and in life itself. One significant change in my career came when I decided to pursue a new project that was outside my comfort zone. I had always focused on writing novels and short stories, but I felt a strong pull towards writing for a different medium: children's literature. It was a genre I had always admired, and I was eager to explore it. I spent months researching and crafting stories that would engage and inspire young readers. The process was both challenging and exhilarating, and it opened up a whole new world of creativity for me. Working on children's books taught me the importance of simplicity, clarity, and imagination. It was a different kind of writing, requiring a fresh perspective and a deep understanding of what resonates with young minds. I enjoyed the challenge and found it incredibly rewarding to see my stories come to life in illustrations and to hear positive feedback from both children and their parents. Another significant change was the way I approached my writing routine. As my career grew, so did my responsibilities. I found it necessary to develop a more structured schedule to balance writing with other commitments. This included setting aside specific times for writing, editing, and engaging with readers and fans. I also made time for self-care and relaxation, recognizing that maintaining a healthy work-life balance was crucial for sustaining creativity and productivity. In addition to changes in my professional life, I also experienced personal growth. I learned to embrace new experiences and challenges with an open mind. Traveling became an important part of my life, offering new perspectives and inspirations for my writing. Each destination provided unique stories and cultural insights that enriched my work and broadened my understanding of the world. My relationships with friends, family, and fellow writers continued to be a source of support and inspiration. I made an effort to stay connected with the people who mattered most to me, even as my schedule became busier. Spending quality time with loved ones and engaging in meaningful conversations helped me stay grounded and motivated. As I looked to the future, I was excited about the endless possibilities that awaited. I plan to continue exploring new genres, collaborating with other creatives, and pushing the boundaries of my writing. I was also eager to take on new challenges and embrace opportunities that would allow me to grow both personally and professionally. One of my long-term goals was to establish a writing foundation that would support young and emerging writers. I wanted to create a space where aspiring authors could find resources, mentorship, and encouragement. Building a supportive community for writers was something I felt passionate about, and I hope to make a positive impact in this area. In conclusion, embracing change and continuing to evolve has been a fundamental part of my journey as a writer. Each change has brought new challenges and opportunities for growth. By staying open to new experiences and maintaining a balanced life, I have been able to navigate the ups and downs of my career with resilience and enthusiasm. As I move forward, I am excited to continue the journey, embrace new adventures, and keep pursuing my passion for storytelling. Chapter 9: The Road Less Traveled. In the midst of a flourishing writing career, I began to feel a sense of restlessness. While my professional life was on a promising trajectory, I felt that something was missing. I craved a new adventure, something that would challenge me in ways that writing alone couldn't. It was during this time of reflection that I decided to embark on a journey, a literal and metaphorical one, that would change my perspective and shape my future. The idea came to me during a quiet evening as I was reading about explorers and adventurers who had ventured into uncharted territories. Their stories of courage and discovery ignited a spark within me. I longed to step out of my comfort zone and experience the world in a way that would broaden my horizons and inspire my writing. I chose to undertake a long road trip across the country. The journey was to be a blend of exploration and self-discovery, a chance to immerse myself in new environments and meet people from diverse backgrounds. I planned the route meticulously, selecting destinations that promised unique experiences and opportunities for reflection. The trip began with a mix of excitement and apprehension. I packed my essentials: books, a journal, a camera, and a few personal items, and set off on a journey that would take me through bustling cities, tranquil landscapes, and everything in between. The open road symbolized freedom and possibility, and I was eager to see where it would lead me. Along the way, I visited historical landmarks, small towns with charming quirks and natural wonders that left me in. Each stop offered its own set of experiences and insights. I spent time hiking in national parks, learning about local cultures, and engaging in conversations with people I met on the road. These encounters enriched my understanding of the world and provided fresh perspectives that influenced my writing. One of the most memorable stops was a small coastal town where I volunteered at a local community center. The experience was both humbling and rewarding. I worked with children and families, helping with various activities and learning about their lives. The kindness and resilience of the people I met were inspiring and reminded me of the power of community and human connection. As I traveled, I kept a detailed journal, documenting my experiences, thoughts, and reflections. The process of writing about my journey was therapeutic and insightful. It allowed me to process my emotions, articulate my observations, and capture the essence of my adventure. The road trip also gave me the time and space to think deeply about my career and personal life. I realized that while writing was my passion, it was important to seek balance and fulfillment in other aspects of life. The journey reinforced my belief that creativity thrives when we step outside our usual routines and embrace new experiences. Upon returning from the trip, I felt rejuvenated and inspired. The road less traveled had provided me with a renewed sense of purpose and a wealth of new ideas for my writing. I began working on a new project that drew from my experiences on the journey, incorporating elements of exploration, self-discovery, and the diverse stories I had encountered. The road trip had taught me the value of taking risks, embracing change, and seeking adventure. It reminded me that life is a continuous journey of discovery, and that stepping out of our comfort zones can lead to profound growth and new opportunities. In the next chapter, I'll share how the experiences from my journey influenced my writing and personal life, and how I continued to build on the lessons learned to shape my future endeavors. Chapter 10: A New Chapter of Giving Back. As my career as a writer continued to evolve, I began to think about the impact I wanted to have beyond my personal achievements. I realized that my success and experiences could be a source of inspiration and support for others. This led me to a new chapter in my life, one focused on giving back and making a difference in the literary community and beyond. I started by creating a writing scholarship for aspiring young authors. It was something I had always wanted to do, and I felt it was the right time to make it a reality. The scholarship aimed to support students who showed promise in writing but lacked the financial resources to pursue higher education in literature or creative writing. Establishing the scholarship was a labor of love, involving fundraising, collaborating with educational institutions, and setting up the application process. The goal was to provide opportunities for talented individuals who might otherwise not have access to them. The first year of the scholarship was incredibly rewarding. We received applications from passionate and talented students with diverse backgrounds and stories. Choosing the recipients was a difficult but fulfilling process. The winners were announced, and their stories of determination and creativity were inspiring. Meeting the scholarship recipients and hearing about their aspirations and progress was a highlight of my year. It reinforced my belief in the power of supporting emerging voices and nurturing new talent. In addition to the scholarship, I wanted to contribute to the literary community in other ways. I started organizing writing workshops and community events, where writers of all levels could come together to share their work, exchange ideas, and support each other. These events became a platform for fostering creativity and building connections among writers. The workshops included sessions on various aspects of writing, from crafting compelling narratives to understanding the publishing process. They also featured guest speakers and established authors who shared their insights and experiences. One of the most impactful events was a literary festival I helped organize. The festival brought together writers, readers, and literary enthusiasts from across the region. It featured book signings, panel discussions, and interactive sessions. The event was a celebration of literature and a testament to the vibrant literary community we had built. Seeing the joy and excitement of attendees and participants was incredibly gratifying. As I continued to focus on giving back, I also sought ways to make a difference in other areas of my life. I volunteered at local schools, conducting writing workshops for students and encouraging them to explore their creativity. I also collaborated with nonprofit organizations that focused on literacy and education, supporting initiatives that aim to promote reading and writing among underserved communities. Giving back became a central theme in my life and career. It was a way to use my skills and experiences to make a positive impact and to give others the opportunities that had helped me along my journey. It also provided me with a sense of fulfillment and purpose, knowing that my efforts were contributing to something greater than myself. Reflecting on this chapter, I am grateful for the opportunities one have had to support and inspire others. It has been a reminder that success is not just about personal achievements, but also about making a difference in the lives of others. The journey of giving back has been deeply rewarding, and it has reinforced my commitment to continuing this work in the future. In the next chapter, I will explore how these experiences of giving back have influenced my writing and personal growth, and how I plan to continue making a positive impact in the years to come.